Wait. You guys had a performance group together called Wana's Bros.
Wana's Bros, yes.
Love it. Also, were there any other bros? Was there another bro?
we were three.
There were three bros.
Yeah.
Who's the third bro?
The third
John
guy is
Inyanga.
John Inyanga.
John Inyanga
Plays guitar.
Plays guitar?
Yeah.
Is he still making
An
music?
amazing
producer,
musician.
yeah.
Now he has a record company,
Okay.
Ace Music.
Oh, guys.
And yeah, he's doing really great stuff.
Documentary is coming soon.
But I remember during rehearsals, we used to stress so much. Like, the thing is, when you're considered an amazing musician, but now you're expressing yourself musically through another medium, right? iZAYA was used to performing alone. I was used to DJing regular music. John was just a guitarist and a producer.
Which one of you is the amazing musician you're talking about in this?
I mean, we were all very respectable
Yes.
in what we were doing alone.
Okay,
But now
okay.
to come together to do a new thing that we
Yeah.
are not too sure about,
Yeah.
but we were like, man, we are confident it's going to work out.
Yeah.
And then we got down to rehearsals, right? We're like, okay, so we need to connect our laptops in a way,
Yeah.
and then use the software, and then
Okay.
do this thing.
Okay.
Like, wow, okay, it's starting to work. And I remember going on stage one time, that was Akadope,
Yeah.
and it got overwhelming. Like, when you
During
realize...
the performance?
Yeah, during the performance.
Yeah.
Like, we performed last,
Yeah.
which was, what is going on? You guys they told us you're going on at midnight.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell us who were the last performers of the night.
Yeah.
We just found ourselves closing the night.
Guys.
And at that time, now guys were not on stage anymore. They set us up
billing.
right in front of the stage. So now there was no like railing or what. Like the crowd was a real mosh pit.
Yeah.
And I became a hype man. I was like, you let me perform also. Like it was so nice, but
Yeah.
the first time we were doing it, it got so hectic.
Yeah. Was that your first performance?
As Wana's Bros?
Akadope?
Yeah.
Was your first performance?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And how we got that gig was...
No, we had done the other Akadope during day.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was
That
okay.
was nice. That
Okay.
was during the day was like...
That was dope.
yeah, that was dope.
And how is it a different vibe? Was it a
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the second one, we were intoxicated.
Yeah, man.
got
Was it
the-
on the same day?
No.
No.
Okay, different.
They were like
Akadopes.
months
Yeah, we
apart,
got there too early, and yeah, then we were told you're going on at midnight, and we
So
got
like what?
gift-
So like what do we do in the
we
meantime?
got gifted with a whole 50 meal of music.
Bro, there's nothing worse than boredom. Because I feel like it's both boredom and like nerves to some
Nerves,
extent.
right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
now
Just
just
wanting
keep
to get
going
it.
and
Yeah.
fluctuating, right?
Yeah.
You're excited, and you're like, I want to be on that stage. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm going on that stage.
But also, honestly, in my experience, like I find I don't get drunk before I perform. Like I drink significantly, but I don't get drunk.
Adrenaline.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like
You're just like, my alcohol tolerance is so high
yeah,
when I am like psyched.
yeah.
Do you think the nerves compensate for like that?
Oh, 100%.
I think so.
Like Rudende told me when he was getting married, he put down like a whole bottle of whiskey
Just before that.
In such a short time.
throughout the day. Like
Right.
throughout the course of the day, looked back and was like, "This was me."
was full.
And I've never done this and may never be able to do this again.
And he was just like kawa, just going through the day kawa, because you're nervous, man. I feel like
Yeah.
everything you just the alcohol is fighting the adrenaline,
Yeah.
and it's losing. It loses every time.
They
man.
meet at crossroads and they're like,
Yeah, dude.
who's getting this nerve ending?
You
Wait.
get after you.
But you remember when we did, oh my God, when we did Blankets and Wine?
Yeah. No, I don't actually.
You do.
I remember. Yeah,
You had
but I
like
also
2
don't.
cocktails and the usual, and we got on stage.
The usual.
Yeah, and I couldn't see what was going on. Like,
You too?
now you remember.
You too? Bro, me, that's why I can't remember. Because, like, even before I drank, just getting there, I felt like My head was literally vibrating. It was vibrating. I couldn't see.
Even Timo couldn't.
Shit wasn't very clear.
You were bumping into each other. You
Bro,
and
like-
Timothy. I was like, what's going on?
You ever have that feeling where like your eyes are mob dry and you just feel every wind, every breeze,
molecule.
every breeze just fucking feels like paper cutting you, and like I couldn't see shit. I felt like I was floating, bro. Like
Just you
I
and
felt
the
like
mic.
I was on a Spike Lee belly.
Came to me.
No, before the fucking
you went on stage.
performance,
Right,
before the whatever. Just getting there and just like trying to find like the booking guy, trying to find like the details. Okay, where do we do the things, whatever. We'd been there the day before. We had rehearsed, whatever. But on that day itself, bro, I was just
Something was
floating through
different.
life. And Wana told me actually like a few weeks ago, he told me I almost fell off the stage.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, dog. Like, I do
So,
not.
like, I remember certain things so vividly. Or I remember one time, I don't remember what song I was playing next, but it was so energetic.
Yeah.
And I told you we're playing this. No. You asked me, so what song is next?
Yeah.
And you saw that song was going to like dip the energy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be good for you. And you're
Yeah.
like, what's the next song after that? And you're like, this, go to that one.
Yeah.
Because we need to wrap up really fast. And do you have any water there?
Wait, was this on stage
On
in
stage.
real time?
Yeah, he had Timothy was like, doing the same move, pacing up and down the stage, and Malcolm was like, perfect time. Bro, do you have some water there? And I was like, no. Like, it's like, okay, cool, let's just finish this.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It was
but
dying.
man,
Yeah,
But it was so much
think
fun,
It's
dude.
never good, anyway, in my opinion, a good idea to especially if you've not yet sort of mastered what it is you're doing.
Yeah.
To get in, like,
Intoxicated.
drunk.
Yeah.
Intoxicated, maybe the people that can
but like
handle
properly
it.
sloshed.
Yes. I made that mistake and it was also, I don't know what's wrong with blankets and wine.
What about the nigga one?
Which, Nyege is dope because the vibe, everyone is lit in the audience. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but that one also is a story.
The thing
because-
about blankets is there's levels. There's like a whole line of,
Keep
sub-
that one.
of people that are alert and looking at you, and then it's like, let's see what this guy is doing, and they're like, what is this electronic music
Sure.
rubbish?
Yeah.
This-
Oh my god! And they always you start with them
Yeah.
having their back to you.
Yeah.
So you're like,
It's also
I need to do something
because
like
blankets. The way blankets works around 2. That's when they start being mob guys,
Yeah,
right?
people start coming.
Performances start what? But by that time, people
Some
are just
people are still
milling
seated,
around.
yeah.
Even the guys who are picnicking are really not paying attention. They're chatting. The volume
everything is
low.
background music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only around like when the lights start
The
going
sun
down,
goes
Yeah.
down.
and they bring out like their biggest UG artist because they usually have like.
But then
big
also
UG
now
artist,
it's
and then they
getting
have,
late
like, a
and you
big
can't be
international
seated down
artist.
because
Yeah.
now there are more guys.
Packed, yeah. That's when guys are now like there paying attention.
And, like,
First
watching
guys,
you.
bro, it's
It's,
we
no,
always
it's
can't
never
afford
good.
that.
It was my. I
That
remember
5
that.
that 4 p.m. 5 p.m. You're like, I wish the sun would just like go.
Yeah,
But
it's
like,
getting better, but it's not quite there. You know,
Yeah.
like you can pick
Like,
out a few people paying attention.
you're,
a few people-
you're literally setting
And
up
like
the
you,
next
like
guy.
and like 4 of your friends being like, yeah.
And you know very well you're setting up for the next guy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
It can be a movie. Like for me, I was telling you my experience. For me, was I begged not to take that slot, that 2 p.m. slot. I was like, man, we've prepared like an entire light show. We have like LED walls, man. We've programmed this stuff. If you put us in the day, people won't be able to see the light show, right? That's the only way. I got to perform just before the huge Ugandan act. In my case, was Benon and Pampus.
Okay.
I went. Yo.
did you have dancers then?
How many drinks? You know?
Did you have dancers then?
No.
Okay.
I hadn't yet started playing with dancers. And it was from such experiences that I decided, you know what?
I
can't
need,
hype.
I need people who people will look at while I play.
yeah.
I think we even started doing some stuff together
Yeah.
that I can't hype. I get awkward on stage when I'm alone.
Yeah.
I had no mask at that time. I was just beginning.
Yeah.
So remember nerves, but now this time the nerves bypassed the alcohol. So I was there. I think I'd never seen that venue filled. The two times Sauti Sol came. Woo! It was like, I was shaking. I played the song twice.
Because the first time you played it or the second time you played it, you were not thinking about what you were playing.
As
Yeah.
not, I wanted the set to game. I said, can this game? But yeah, part of it was the you see that because if I was because it's something about sobriety. that I think there's a good balance. You know what I mean? It's a perfect, just don't get knocked. Because when you get knocked, man, when you're dealing with like a control surface like the one I had, like the launch pad, it had like buttons.
You're just seeing colors, bro.
And they glow.
You understand, and you're like, what does this do though?
And this is like your 6x6
Yes.
pads, right?
Yes.
Which I'm sure you've programmed and you kind of know where
Yes.
things are at.
But now you don't.
But in that moment,
Yo. Plus, you remember there's lights from the top hitting the pads as well, so you can't see.
no, but dude, you make a very good point about how it's really important to have a balance between being present and absent.
Yeah.
Between being like in control, but also allowing Jesus to take the wheel. You know, just like you know what I mean? Like you're there, right? Like I think it's like you ever see like adults have like a kid on their lap, and they're letting them drive.
Yeah.
Just imagine that's Jesus. And you're accelerating,
So
right?
that's a perfect balance.
It's like you can play with the steering wheel.
But for you just have it down here, like so. You're controlling, you're here, you're whatever, but you also just kind of letting it happen. Easy. You know? I feel like that's the
let them
balance.
turn a bit so they see the car moving, so they're like progress. Yeah.
I struggle with that now because when I was doing Mr. Mankwa things, right? My struggle was the fact that my shit was gibberish, right? The verses had some sense of lyrics. I mean, the choruses had a few lyrics.
There was a
like
structure,
two.
but like no structure also.
Yeah. So I found very often the usual performance thing for like dancehall of being like of playing the track and then I just like sing over the track would never work because the gibberish would never come out the same way. So it would always just like throw me off. So I'd always just like play with the instrumental and then I could do whatever I want in between the verses, in between the choruses, right? So I was like, okay, now I'm that Malcolm guy. I'm doing music with words. It's gonna be better. It's gonna
Music
be
with
easier.
words. Why did
There's no way I'm going to lose my place, lose the flow, whatever. Dude. Wow. It's a whole other struggle, bruh. It's a whole other just knowing where you're at and knowing where you need to be next and knowing and like feeling
and not lose, not get too caught up trying to like.
Because if you also overthink it, like when you know like you have like a problematic like
section
and you overthink it, when you do it and you get it right, you fuck up the rest.
Yes.
You know?
You spend a lot of time rejoicing.
So like you need that perfect balance of being like in control and conscious of where you're going to be, but also like not in control fully. And I don't know.
I think that comes with time also. Like experience, like the more tours you do, the more gigs you do, you learn that okay, man, I think, and also some people have like what are they called? Not routines, but like what's the other word for like a ritual, right? Some people have like rituals for when before they go on stage that they know it's like man, me it's a tonic, or it's like a tonic and like 4 shots, or it's like only this beer. You know what I mean?
Just burn some sage.
Yes, because you've learned. You know what I mean? You've learned your system and your body and how you work under pressure.
And sometimes I think there's something like not even intrinsic about those specific rituals, but about just the sense of you having done something to get you to a specific point that you just allows you to relax as well. Yeah. That's just like, okay.
So psychological as well. It's like, I know if I do this, I'll pull it.
Yeah, it's actually mostly psychological, I think.
Yeah.
This reminds me of something that Nemesis said in his episode with Jess, which runs true in regards to what you were saying about having your bearings. When you were speaking about lift-off lines, I think like he obviously gained that experience from being a battle rapper, but it is a great thing to have when you sort of build your performance experience to know that you could train yourself to have these lyrics that can fit into any rhythm that you always know will lead you back to a place you came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of artists have those phrases that we hear all the time whenever they're going on stage and between songs when they forget a line. Yeah. Those lift-off lines are so valuable.
Stand-up comedians always go, so like it's very like predictable, and I only realized it when I think a friend of mine in uni, who is a stand-up comedian, had like an album by like a stand-up guy that he liked. So he gave us the album, right? And I thought it was going to be like you watch the special, right? And then I opened it up and it's like audio tracks, right? And I'd heard of this thing of like comedy albums in the past, but that's the first time that I really properly saw, those same jokes are actually broken down. And when you listen to the whole thing from top to bottom and you just put it on go, it just goes, and just the in between, you just have maybe a little bit of and then into the next track, and then into the next track, and the whole thing, you realize the whole like 30-60 minutes is a number of finite beats, of finite tracks that can even be remixed around a little bit and maybe have some
Just a
connection to each
compilation.
other. Yeah. But I found that so fascinating, that idea of like stand-up comedians track listing.
I'd heard of it. I think I heard of it in a movie once. I didn't know it was a thing. And I think at the time, was it My Name is Dolomite? Have you guys watched that?
Yeah.
I think they were talking about something similar. It's like, I wonder what the experience is like, listening to
I don't know who first did it, but I know Red. What's his name again? Red Fox, right? Red Fox was one of the first comedians to have an album,
Okay.
and it was such a hit, and yet also so explicit. Yeah. So I don't know, and even
I
in the
highly doubt
Dolomite
that
Show-
he had one of the first ones, but it's very possible that he had like just a massive, like he made like the Thriller of comedy albums.
Or like the first
You know,
commercially
like-
famous one.
Yeah, maybe. But also that's with the black community.
Perhaps because like Richard Pryor, I don't know if Richard Pryor was doing the things before him. I don't know.
Wasn't Richard Pryor doing more like live, like stand-up, literally like actually doing like physical tours?
In
Did
fact,
he have albums?
when
It's,
it
the
when
same, it's usually that's where they
They record and
They usually
sell
record
that.
on tour,
Right.
So you go and you perform your tracks because you need the audience to be laughing along and whatnot
Right,
to be part of
right.
the whole vibe.
Oh, I
so
didn't
usually
know
they'll
that.
say no at this that, and that's the album that you go get. You get your vinyl, whatever. But I also think that format maybe comes from the fact that stand-up comedy initially was just like, at least the oldest version I've seen of it was a guy going on a talk show and saying a bunch of like almost knock jokes.
Right.
Like just very like,
Yeah.
very like, what's the difference between or like puns or whatever, and they're just very like a joke. Like, when you watch old movies and guys are like, hey, tell us a joke.
Yeah.
Hey, Mac, you got a joke? And I'll just be like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you just have one in your
Yeah,
pocket?
so what's the difference between
Niggas real had jokes. And I feel like that's where maybe that thing comes
everyone
from.
had to have it was like a conversation starter.
What's
Yeah,
your joke,
yeah, yeah,
What's your... Someone once said, like, rap used to be... I was watching a thing where KRS-One was saying, like, rap used to be like that. Where he was saying, like,
Buzz.
where he grew up, guys used to be like, everyone had their, like, buzz. Like, you just never knew. You had to have, like, in case of emergencies, you'd have to have
Your buzz.
You'd have to have your buzz, because you never know. You might just
That's
be
why
around some
always
guys.
be strapped with your
Some
lines.
guy
Right.
spits some shit and says, okay, Wana,
Yeah.
spit your shit. And then Wana's like, they've called me at home.
or even dancers, like always getting a new routine because you never know when a dance thing is going to come up.
Yeah.
And
And in all the movies, it's always like a random scout
I know,
who
right?
stopped in the wrong place to get like a coffee or some shit, and they looked across the street and saw someone dancing on the pavement, and they were like, "Wow,
I want you.
yeah, or even just like a clique of dancers generally. Like you don't want to be the guy who every time you're with the crew at the park or chilling, whatever, you're always pulling off the same things all the time. And guys are just like, bro, but like you don't have anything new. Like we're all trying to put in work to make sure we keep this thing going. You're always doing this kind of thing.
You're doing the
bro." I feel like we survived that era of breakdancing, bro.
breakdancing. I did break. And I was on the stage, man.
You're on stage, you're breakdancing. Oh yeah,
I
Michael
was the
Jackson
guy.
impression breakdancer.
No, I was part of a crew.
Oh,
What was the crew called?
Man, I've forgotten. But we used to keep changing names. But you see, at the time, so there was remember this
Which
era
were the
where
names?
dance films were a huge thing. You remember there was like
Step Up and-
like you
yeah.
got
Oh,
served. Do
yeah.
you remember that
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Even in church, actually.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'd go and watch like videos and then we'd count. You know? You remember that era where you guys would face the wall?
Guys
Yeah,
like quiet looking down
and the tracks were ridiculous, man. If you
Oh,
look at
you
the
already
tracks,
dancing
guys,
too.
it was
Michael
like,
Jackson.
It was like Kirk Franklin.
Bro,
Bro, you know what? Nah. Oh, that shit would go in, bro. That shit would go in.
So man, and I don't know. It still happens, man. There's guys that still break dance, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I went to a certain thing and there were kids, man, and they were hype.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, we have this routine for you guys, and they went, and they all. And they had like so much energy. I was like, this is still happening. So, like I feel with every generation. Like I was speaking to Brian yesterday about like Christmas
Yeah.
and how over the years, like I mean, guys,
Yes, just
like by November 27th, they would be like bling, blue,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean, like
This
vibes.
boy child
Yeah.
everywhere.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Release
now,
every
man,
dance.
guys are like, yo, man, I've worked. You know what I mean? I was like, is it just because we've grown, or is the
Yeah,
world?
I think the
has it
time-
always been like that.
No, I think it's the
it's
times.
Maybe
times
it
are
was, but
changing,
also
I
this
think.
year in particular, like we can't judge.
Okay.
We can't judge like
Yeah.
anything on
Guys,
2020.
no,
bro.
honestly,
Yeah.
I know for sure that it's a thing like that is a culture, and cultures either get stronger or watered down.
For example, Eid. Eid is a good example.
Okay.
Guys still eat that meat.
No, eating
2020
yes,
or not
but
2020.
the psych around it also.
I don't know, man. Like me, I'm always very skeptical of this idea that like right now things are very different, because I feel like we just never live long enough to have enough context to see like, okay, 30 years ago, like even when we were kids, you know,
Okay,
what
okay,
was
okay.
it
20
really
years
like?
ago. 20 years ago.
My thing is, even then, I feel like we were so young and we had such different priorities that even our sense of what it was like was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Like
we're
if we
looking
were-
at life through a different lens. Like a
Yeah,
child's lens.
our priorities were different, our vibes were different. Like, I still feel like we don't live long enough to be able to realize that we're always constantly doing the same shit.
Just
But you can't
over
also
time,
disregard the
go back.
idea that, like we were saying earlier,
Yeah.
like by November 27th, there was a time where the whole city was decorated.
Yeah,
no doubt.
lights, what?
Okay.
KCC
Yeah.
has done a thing. It was a real thing. KCC
And last year that wasn't the case. Eh?
No,
Last year,
it was not the case, and you would hear like Phile Bongo Lutaya.
Merry Christmas.
Like it was
Okay.
no doubt. But now, like some guys are playing. I mean, mobs are playing like smooth jazz, of course, like Christmas vibes. It's like it's like diluted now. guys are saying happy holidays now. I think it's
Happy holiday.
I'm getting Hollywood has infiltrated. So I feel like the culture is slowly fading away. I don't know. Don't you guys agree to
Yeah,
something?
I
Bro,
honestly feel
honestly,
it
this sounds
so
like American
strongly.
culture wars. This sounds like American culture wars of happy holidays. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. You know the holiday. You know the real holiday. On Jesus' birthday? On Jesus' birthday? Don't even tell me Merry Christmas. Tell me Happy Birthday. I feel like
There
Anyway,
was this priest one time. He was leading mass on Christmas, and he wanted to sing. He wanted to lead the congregation in what? How does the song go? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, are we singing Baby Jesus?
Confused me. I was trying to sing that song. I was like,
Merry Christmas. How are you? You are my savior.
There's no jam called me.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yo, it came at the same time.
We were starting with Merry Christmas.
I know, yes, we wish you.
Anyway, so
Everyone was buffering.
you all loaded at the same
You are
time.
my
So
savior.
the priest, right? I think the day before he was at a birthday party, and he came singing Merry Christmas in the tune of Happy Birthday.
What?
Merry Christmas to
To
you.
you.
Malcolm just
And
did
he
it
went
for real.
on, but like it didn't feel right, and the choir was like, "How do we catch him? And, like, go with him, right?"
That's hilarious.
Now it's become a hybrid.
Merry
And-
Christmas to you.
Merry
Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you. And a Happy New Year.
And he stuck on that, and the choir let him finish.
Yeah.
And then we wish you, they started
Yeah.
the Merry Christmas after, and that's when he realized, it was like, okay. I've seen why it wasn't free flowing.
Remix.
But yeah, on another note, it's a similar conversation I was having with a friend again about like culture and how it's changing. I feel like you notice how like technology is becoming very popular. We're getting exposed to more
Easily
technology,
accessible.
very accessible. Even at a younger age, which might have not been the case back then.
Definitely not the case.
I remember I was only allowed to play like some computer. I remember this motocross game. Only I wasn't allowed to use Word. I was like, what do you want Word for? Play, you know what I mean?
Pinball. You
Yeah,
had,
pinball.
solitaire. You had.
I'm so sorry.
These are
I'm so sorry. That sounds like a bad slave group.
I know, right? Like, so I was like,
Why are you reading?
Why are you reading? Boy, why are you trying to read?
But you know,
well, it's not like
I'm
us
sorry.
allowed. It's like
I don't
everyone.
think I don't think I can make those jokes, guys.
But other things like it's not everyone wanted to play motocross and like Hell Blender. There was this game called Hell Blender that all my brothers wanted to play.
Are
So
these
if you're-
mini clip games or Microsoft games?
No, these were mini clip games. You remember me? You remember mini? Oh,
man,
mini clip
yeah.
was dope. These are not Microsoft games. So as we're playing, no, you don't have the time to. You remember that Internet Explorer guy? That
Oh my God.
Windows 98,
Yeah.
right? So at the time, it was, and there was a time scheduled for that. However, now there's phones,
Yeah.
right? So every child can access
Yeah.
tech. And so I feel like as technology advances, like more and more, like if you notice the generation today, I feel like because they've been overexposed from a very young age, these things like as at a children's birthday party the other day, I was like, back in our days, man, this is not how we celebrated. But we're like, I was like, man, were we just fake? We would just like chill and like play. But now,
Be
man,
lousy.
yeah, but now, man, like kids are like talking about politics. I'm like, sure, you know what I mean? So talking about like the situations in the country, and so I feel
How old
like
are these kids?
these kids were like between 5 and 8.
Eh?
Yes.
I was talking about Bobby Wine, eh?
Yes.
But bro, I swear when we were like,
You know?
no, dude, when we were like 8, I swear we were also out here talking about VCJ and 70 and all
When
that
you were
shit.
8?
Not with that much. Not with that much
2001
context.
elections.
I was aware
Yeah.
of what was going on, but
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
thinking
or
about
not
what was going
interested in it.
Bruh, okay, car.
You are, it's okay. Maybe you are interested in it. No pressure. But yeah, the thing is, maybe at that time, at that age,
Yeah.
man, it was like I think PS1. You know what I mean? Like that
There was
the talk.
there was a Game Boy, there was a Nintendo,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like kid stuff. You know what I mean?
Also, just the fact that, man, I loved playing out, and I cannot waste that time knowing it wasn't a lot of time to talk about other things besides things that were relevant to my well-being.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
at least the things that I felt were relevant to
Not
my
useless things like politics.
well-being. What?
Bruh.
Yeah,
So, so do you think that like on WhatsApp, like our parents sharing stories and
I think so.
videos and
I wasn't allowed to use
Conspiracy
a phone at the
theories
time.
from-
And I've noticed,
Some videos
them
from
kids
Ghetto
are
TV.
balling on, those kids be balling on WhatsApp statuses. Like all day.
Yeah.
Every emotion, every feeling, every
They make a
thought
status, eh?
goes into a WhatsApp status.
Yeah, but-
I'm like, it has become a download hub. you know?
Yeah. Probably really weird for our parents that we like really like video games must have been the one for them. That was like, what the fuck is going on, man? These guys have
Yeah.
whole computers
Yeah.
in their goddamn
Things are
pockets,
changing, yeah.
play Game Boys and shit, and you know what? Our parents freaked out. I don't know, bro. I feel
think
like our
they
parents freaked
did.
out over that shit.
And
bro.
my
Like,
mom-
I definitely think.
I had a conversation with my
Get
mom the
off
other
the-
day, and she told me with every generation there's a shocking factor. She
Yeah.
said with you guys there's a shocking factor.
what is it for them though? Like, you know, for them and their parents. Like,
For
what
me
was
and
the
my
difference?
parents, they left the village. So I mean that in itself is like, yeah, we're going to town.
Could
you
it
know
have
what
been
I mean?
TV? You know, like what was the thing that their parents were just like horror, shock and horror? But I feel like even
Like work, man, and I don't know. I feel like there's also levels those days, but I feel like even working in the city.
okay,
Well, you
just
know
that,
what I mean?
that rural
Yeah.
to urban.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Was
Yeah.
that like, yeah, like bye.
Yeah.
There was you know what I mean? Their parents was like, you know what I mean? Because back in the day it was like go fetch water and there was like this
I was like,
culture.
you want to go where?
Yeah.
It's like you're leaving us to go to the city.
Yeah.
Then of course TV came with like what are the kids that were born, not the kids that people who are now adults who were born in the 80s, what are they called? Like our big brother.
And
You know what I
then
mean?
babies, I don't know.
Now
What?
those guys, for them it was the TV, I think.
And then baby sounds like crack babies, but
But it's
like,
like, maybe Generation X, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
Was that
Generation
a Generation X?
I think so, yeah. That's Generation X. And then I think theirs was the TV. And then
Oh,
for
okay,
us-
yeah.
Oh, yes.
And then for us,
There was an age that not just a TV, but watching anything that's in color form.
You're
Yeah,
right. Generation
yeah.
X is born from the 60s to the 80s.
yeah.
yeah. So after that is generation TV.
I guess so.
Yeah, so when I kept telling my mom was like, yo, look at these kids. Like, man, even when you guys were born, we're like, look at these
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Unfortunately, after that, it's millennial, and I hate the fact that we all fall into that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're also
Yeah, but
now looking
millennial
at Gen
has
Zs.
way too many classes.
Like millennials almost over. Millennials are now like I think 25 is like the cutoff point for millennials. At this point, and then
Yeah.
younger than that is Gen Zs. But we already look at those guys like, you guys, you're good in internet.
I know.
You know,
Yeah,
hey guys, you know about those Gen Z guys who like fucked up a Trump rally, and it was one of the big like whatever was of his campaign, right? They fucked up a Trump rally. Where it was one of those things like guys had been under lockdown, whatever, and it was one of the first like campaign events. And it was like, yo, fuck that shit. He did that shit in like goddamn a place where like a black massacre happened. And like, you know, like on that nigga, he's really daft and really stupid when it comes to racism.
Yeah.
Amazing. And they shifted the date by like 1 day. And the fact that they did it in that town is one of the things that like led people to be like, oh, this motherfucker's doing shit. So Gen Z guys went on TikTok, right? And organized through TikTok to buy out tickets to the rally, right? So they went and bought out like hella tickets, like more than half to the rally, right? And they just didn't show up. So the rally happened and it was a flop. It was a floppity
but
flop.
sold out technically.
Sold out, but it was a floppity flop. It was empty as fuck. And like it was also Trump just
Floppity
being
flop.
like, I know Trump is one of those like it's a dick measuring thing for him. But
Yeah.
big crowds, man. And like I swear he's fired his like campaign manager after that. That guy went crazy and like was arrested for like some weird domestic violence. He was in his underwear and had a bunch of guns. It was like it was down the street. It was a lot, bro. It was a lot. But Gen Z guys are good in internet.
Yeah, they take it serious.
They know internet.
They are good.
You find
in
Gen
computer.
Z
They are good in
will
computer.
be the ones who make a living of TikTok, of being social media
Influencers,
influencers.
content creators.
And me, I'm like,
hella millennial
how does
guys, yeah,
somebody
but
become-
those guys are
You know,
good
like,
in it.
how do I make this TikTok thing work?
Yeah,
You know?
these guys are.
I'm out
good
here
in it,
thinking,
bro.
Twitter is nice, and is it a thing if I have like many followers and like
Right.
many retweets and many likes?
Guys know
You know what's the relevance? But for them,
These
they
guys
get
make
it off.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I think it's a very natural thing. It's very natural the way that I noticed when I'm helping like my parents out with a phone thing, like a very simple phone thing. I realized there's a language that we speak that they don't speak. You know, there's a way we recognize like a play, like this play symbol, right?
Yeah, right.
It's we easily recognize what the play
Intuitive,
symbol
yeah.
means, what the settings icon means when we
the
see it.
range,
We don't have
yeah.
to see settings written next to it.
the
We don't-
gallery.
Simple
the
things
browser.
like that. We just speak that
right.
language, you know? Like it just comes very naturally to us. And I think for Gen Z as well, things like social media are things that they have like come of age understanding just as part of life, you know? It's not a thing that they've had to acclimatize themselves to. So I think it's a language beyond even just the platforms, just things like engagement and whatnot.
My question
and
is,
just things
were
they
also
understand.
alive at the same time they were, or maybe at the time they were learning the stuff we were prioritizing. Other
We
Yeah.
definitely had
Yeah.
other things.
They were learning
but
those things
also that-
younger, you know? Those guys are
Yeah.
learning Facebook and Twitter and those things when they're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
young,
8,
you
yeah,
know?
5, yeah.
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 Makes sense.
Those things just exist. Like they're not new things. They just
Yeah, it's life.
exist. It's part of life.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's definitely one of those things where you, while these things came up when we were like not too far off from them. I mean, they were not too far off from us.
Yeah.
But for them, that was the thing that took so much attention. While for us, there were like other things that we were like, this one, maybe not. That's why amongst us, you'll find guys who are like very tech savvy.
Yeah.
And guys who are like savvy on other things or just like more or like well informed on other things.
Yeah.
And also that's why I think that even on issues like relationships, right? The different generations mostly like treat things differently.
Okay.
Yeah, because of just for us there's a generation, be it ours or the one after us, that will Google everything,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And then there's that one that will be like, if I do it like this, it's going to affect me like this. So, you know, like either talk to somebody or actually like give it a thought.
Yeah.
Not to say you're going to like make a better decision than the other person who Googled, but that's just your process.
Sure, yeah.
Do you think we're going to live in a time where people Google everything, or live in a time where knowledge is instantaneous and there's no need to have to do the action of Googling, but you live in a world where the chip is in your head?
Just think it and you know
what's
it.
25 divided by 17.7, and you just immediately know the answer because the chip heard it, gave us the response.
That's terrifying, but
That's
almost
terrifying,
only because there's like no challenge. Like there's no time to stop a crazy motherfucker, man. Like there's no time to stop like someone with bad intentions. What am I saying? I think I'm just like, that's too much power for us to have as human beings. Just like the ability
This
to do
guy
that.
We're not far from that. That's what's in your hand right now, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's just the act. It's just the willingness to engage.
Yeah.
That's the only thing stopping us. But really, it exists right now.
And it's gonna happen very soon. These things are already part of us. Like the watch.
I mean, just the whole information bit. The funny bit is even kids knowing that I don't need to work on a relationship with my parents just so I can have somebody to talk to.
That's deep.
I have the internet. So, there's a guy who posted a screenshot of
like back in the day, like kids were really hanging out with their parents, eh?
not hanging out, but like
Like tell the truth, bruh.
no, not but like but you can see you have a very extended family.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And you all majority is in the same generation.
Sure.
Right? Sure. And you can already see what that means. Look at another family that has mostly guys in the newer generation, and you'll find not very social, have different lives going on. They only hang out on common interests, which are also a bit far and wide. And what I was driving at is this guy posted a screenshot of his son, who is 5 years old, used his dad's phone to Google how to fight daddy. Because he was angry at his dad.
Did he get results?
I don't know.
Bro, you know what? At the age of 4, I think that's what you. I think that's what you're asking yourself. I think that's what you're just. I know. I think that's what you're asking yourself. I think that's the major struggle of life. It's just like
trying to mix those
how do I get power
Yeah.
from these motherfuckers? How do I do what I want?
Like,
how do I get what I want from the fridge
fight
when I
that?
want it? Yeah.
Right?
They're telling me I can't have his bicycle. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we just didn't have a way of like Googling that.
Googling it,
But I feel like we very much like
Yeah.
even like when parents tell kids like, oh, don't do that, and the kids just still go ahead and do that shit. That's them being
that's
like,
rebellion.
no, fuck that, fuck you, fuck that. Guys, I'm so sorry. I really need to go.
Yeah. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
You
okay,
got places to be. That's all good.
Blessings. I just feel like that was also just like a very like
Hour 15?
way to
Anticlimactic.
it's a very like way to end it.